Okay, let's look at two examples where we have to find the product, which means an answer to a multiplication problem. Find the product of two polynomials. We're going to use distributive property. So make sure you review all this information in your textbook. So we have 3x squared plus 2, a binomial. That's the first one right here. Then we're going to multiply by 4x squared minus 3x plus 5, a trinomial. Okay, distributive property, pretty straightforward. We're going to take the 3x squared, and we are going to multiply the 3x squared by each of the three terms in the second polynomial. So we're going to get three separate answers, three separate terms from that. Then we're going to take the 2, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Multiply the 2 by every single term in the second polynomial. Now remember, when you multiply powers, so the x squared times the x squared, when you multiply those, you add the exponents. So let me show you what I mean. And I'm not going to write everything out here. I'm just going to explain it and show you what I get. 3x squared times 4x squared. So we're doing this first one. 3x squared times 4x squared. Multiply the 3 times the 4, 12. Now, the x squared times x squared becomes x to the 4th. You add the exponents. Now for the second one, 3x squared times negative 3x. First of all, it's a positive times a negative, so the answer will be negative. 3 times negative 3 is minus 9. Now x squared times x is x cubed. Remember, there's a 1 there over that x. And then 3x squared times positive 5. All you can do is multiply the 3 times the 5, 15, and then write down x squared. So plus 15x squared. Okay, now 2 times 4x squared, so now we're working on this one. 2 times 4x squared is plus 8x squared. 2 times negative 3x becomes negative 6x. And 2 times positive 5 is plus 10. And now we just have to group any like terms that we see. And it looks like I only see like terms right here in the middle. Everything else does not have another term like it. So we will write down 12 x to the 4th minus 9x cubed. Now 15x squared plus 8x squared, that's going to be 23x squared. And then minus 6x, and then plus 10. Okay, and that's as simplified as we can get. Alright, now let's look at this. Find the product. 2y plus 4 times 3y minus 7. Now this is a special one. It's a binomial times a binomial. You see this a lot. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did in the last problem using the distributive property, but a lot of times you, in a lot of math classes you hear this thing called FOIL. And FOIL is really just the product of the first terms in each binomial. The 2y times the 3y. And the O stands for outer, so it's the product of the outer terms. So see how these ones are on the outside? 2y times negative 7. But isn't this looking just like distributive property? It is. It's the same thing. Now the inner is like the two inner terms, the ones on the inside. The 4 times the 3y. And then the last is multiplying the last terms of each binomial, the 4 times the negative 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and just work this problem out. So 2y times 3y, 6y squared. 2y times negative 7, negative 14y. 4 times 3y plus 12y. 4 times negative 7, negative 28. And then with FOIL, you're always going to have the middle terms that need to be combined. So let's go ahead and combine the middle terms. 6y squared minus 2y, because we did negative 14y plus 12y, that's negative 2y, and then minus 28. And that's our simplified answer.